This is Pro Series Off Topic.
Welcome back to Off Top in the final episode of the year. It has been a great year, and as you remember, about a month ago, everybody kind of posting their Spotify wraps or their Apple Music wraps. I'm an Apple Music person, but for my podcasting, I do use Spotify for podcasters. They just make it super simple. I actually kind of talk about it in another off-topic episode, so if you're trying to create a podcast, go back to that episode. It's a great host site. It gives you great statistics while you're going on, and it's easy to just upload, and it kind of delivers it to all the other podcast platforms. But kind of get into it, they send you kind of your stats for the year, and I don't want to go over all of them. You could look at them on my social media, but one stat that was really cool to see is how much I grew, 109%, which is great. Being really new into the podcasting world, it is great to see that people are listening. Sometimes you just kind of press upload and you're like, will anybody ever listen to this? And I think there's a lot more people. I'm at the point where I'm getting more and more requests and referrals for guests to come on. I haven't really asked people to be on the podcast very much, maybe a handful of times in the past, 6 or 8 months. It's been a lot of referrals from casting agents or hosts or managers or whatever it is, which has been awesome because people that listen to the podcast know what they want to hear. So it's really cool to hear who they want to hear. And it's been really cool to learn. And as you probably tell, it's not all design people anymore. It's kind of design, construction, real estate, investing, and mindset, entrepreneurial. I wanted to keep it kind of anybody in the professional world, giving the whole pro series part of it. And that's kind of where I've always wanted to grow with the podcast. Not just paint myself into a corner and just do design. Yes, that is my main passion, but I also want to talk to, the mindset coaches and business coaches and just hear other people's entrepreneurial stories has been the best part about the podcast and what I've been getting a lot of feedback from. And it seems like a lot of those episodes are more booming than some of the other ones, so it's great. Top country, still United States, but Australia and the UK coming into a close second, which is awesome. I've had the honor to be able to interview a couple people from each country, and in the next couple of weeks we'll have that World of Design with Adrian Ramsey in Australia, and then also Rebecca Hayes. I know I keep talking about this. She's from Canada, but this is a really cool conversation. We recorded for I want to say we recorded a little over 2 hours, but while we were on the call for a little over 2 hours, we recorded for maybe an hour and 45 minutes or so, and they're all split. Each one of our episodes are around a half an hour, and they'll all have different parts. So that's coming up on January 9th, so remember that. But yeah, and it's kind of cool to see how many minutes I've created, the increase in streams, the increase in followers, and then my number one episode of the year was episode 72, if you want to go back and listen to it, with Christina Lamanco. She's an interior designer based out of, or she was based out of New York City, moved to London, and just picked up and moved her business there and branched out her business actually, because she's actually her business is still going on in New York. It was really cool to hear from her. I think a lot of people kind of wanted to hear that episode just because she's branching into a whole new country, a whole new market, no one that knows her, and she's really just kind of grow her business that way. Usually a lot of people find they kind of grow their territory in where they are and just kind of keep going a couple miles out, keep going miles out and kind of growing it that way. But she really, flew across the world to another country and kind of started from scratch again. And I think a lot of people love that story. And I hope to get more and more of those. I know I have a lot of recordings in the next month. One in particular I'm super, super excited about. And you'll know when I post it that, you'll know which one it is. Yeah, I don't want to give too much away. I don't like to talk about the guests just because, it either jinx it or, I don't know, I like it to be a surprise when I post on like a Sunday or a Monday saying who is that next guest of the week, or I talk about it here in the off topics. But that's all I have for the Spotify Wrap. But I do want to do my final country music media based chart. There's no new music this week. Hopefully next week we'll have something to talk about, given that most new music will be starting to come out. But we have a new number 1 this week. But before we get there, number 5 this week is Chris Stapleton with White Horse. Number 4, still on the top 5, Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson with Save Me. Number 3, Dan and Shay, Save Me the Trouble. Number 2, Nate Smith, World on Fire. And the new number 1, which is also his first number 1, what a great way to end the year, is George Burge with Mind on You. That's awesome for him to end the year with this song when he had such a great year. But that's all we have. I hope you guys have a great new year. We'll talk next week and look forward to another Pro Series podcast coming up this week, and we'll talk then.